Hey guys, this is ArtsyWisdom. My name is Diane. I just wanted to jump on here and real quick and discuss what I was getting. So I know this sounds weird, but I wanted to. I'm making my own tarot card deck, but meanwhile, I have old. I'm an artist. If you guys are new here, but I took the cards and I have so many oracle decks and tarot cards that I decided what meanings I wanted to put in. Anyway, the point is I used my deck, my beginning, my baby thought deck, in to see when the felon 47 will be out of our hair. And I know he's not all the problem because the people around him really are the structure that's keeping this moving, this train plowing through the countryside. But I wanted to share with you, I already pulled some out and I wanted to look at a timeline because I know so many people are just so frustrated. So I wanted to share with you what I got. So here we go. I'm going to make this short because, life. So today, I have this, my new, I'm going to show you everything, all the underbelly. So this is my new standard layout that I wanted to make for these cards that I'm doing. And my cards are going to be more about spiritually and healing because I have a plan for the direction of them, but some of them, they overlap. So number one, the question I wanted to know, and I didn't pull this out. It just flew out. This is what I got. So this is called timeline. It's hard to read, but it says timeline. And the spiral is how I see time. Time goes in a spiral. I don't know how accurate that is, but I see people jumping from side to side. It doesn't go in a straight line. That's how come we can see things in the past or past lives. That is the question, timeline. So when is this going to be resolved, or when are we going to see an end to the chaos and crazy? So number two, benefits or limitations. Benefits, that's how I interpret this. This is peace, toes in the sand, sleep, the benefits. The benefits is either us relaxing, I can interpret it that way, and having that peaceful, calm, lovely feeling of not waking up every morning in complete terror, or them at F47 adiosing, 86ing out of this 3D world. So that was really accurate. So I was really happy with that because I feel like I'm on the right track here. The real issue is number three. So in my vision, I do a lot with desserts and stuff, but this is gifts, flowers, ring. So I'm interpreting this as gifts, money, benefits to others, other countries, namely the ancient or the old czarist kind of imperial one that's over there across next to China, Putinsky's place. So that is the real issue. That is the real issue. So again, I feel I'm right on target. Hopes and fears. Hopes and fears, and it's reaching goal. This mountain, and you can't really tell because I wrote on here, but the image that I'm imagining is reaching a goal, getting over that mountain, and it feels like a mountain. Feels like a mountain. Like we're never going to get to the other side. That's our hope. 5. How we got here. So, and I've said this in the past, it's collective karma. It's about money. It's about greed, capitalism, and the worst level of it. Capitalism isn't bad. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's created this environment where greed has perverted it even more. So the past and how we got here, going backwards. Make America great again. Going backwards and in reverse. So how we got here is this desire to not accept the reality of now, and to keep living in a dream that it's their fault, it's the other people's fault, and we are going to fix it because, or somebody's going to tell us they're going to fix it with lies and corruption and misinformation and manipulation of willful ignorance out there. And that's how we got here. Can't fix that. All we can do is move forward, but that explains a lot. I already pretty much knew that a lot of people live in a hazy nostalgia And of course, it's lovely thinking about the past, but we have such a good selective memory. We forget about all the other shite that happens in the past. We just want the good stuff. It doesn't work that way. Self-beliefs. So this, I'm using this as the F-47 self-beliefs and how he interprets himself. So it's lovers and then romantic. He, in reality, his shadow self is winning this game, this life. It's been taken over from any positive version of himself. But he really is a good manifester. And that's how I'm interpreting this. He loves that he can do this. He is high on life. He is like also loving that he can control, and loving how he's dominating, and loving that he can twist words and make people do what he wants. He's created this romantic relationship with all of his people. There you go. The near future. So you guys can give me your feedback. The near future can be any time between days or weeks, depending on how this timeline evolves with self, with the willfulness of the collective, or, how people don't let him push back, how we can find our inner courage or inner strength to say what we need to say, or to live in a state of faith and knowing too. That's really important to know that we're going to get through this without giving in, without rolling over. Okay. So the netherworld. This is the death card. This is, I also have the image of the owl transitioning to the other side. So this is a transition card. And it's also can be about wisdom. But in my image, when I'm going to make these cards, this is the day after of the party. When you walk through somebody's house and you see all the bottles and cigarettes and torn up lamps and maybe some clothes on the floor, whatever it is, and lots of stains. That's the image I get. That's the next day. So that is our near future. So I am feeling something big is, according to this, something big is going to shift in the not too distant future. There's been previous videos where I see the owl come to me, bringing me a note, sharing with me visuals of the future. And I saw a bunch of different things. I saw the shoreline, and this is post-election, and trying to give me a big picture, telling me it's going to be okay. I saw a lush green in the future, but not yet. But this picture I had in my mind, I can feel him or her, shouldn't be sexist, this owl coming on my left side, sitting on my shoulder. It's like a white snow owl. And some traditions, native traditions, are fearful of the owl because they do bring quote unquote death or the end of life, transition, leaving this 3D world. This is not what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like I know this is kind of weird, an owl pointing out, it's pointing to that same area where I saw on the beach while I was floating in the water. I know you guys think I'm getting a little distracted, but it was an old image of me floating. It was very warm and comfortable, and I didn't want to go on the beach because it was scary, and that was relative to what we're dealing with right now. But in the distance, I saw this green, lush, dark green, like really fertile time, but it's a little bit farther off, and this owl right here now is pointing to that time, or that visual. The sun is coming up, and it's way out there. And I've seen this like a few days ago or last week. I do see just the start, when the sun rises and you've been driving all night, or you get up super early and before the sun comes up, and it starts to just have that gray kind of hazy, that it's changing, that the sun is going to be coming up, but it's not there yet. It's that same feeling. It's like it's coming. The change, this new day is coming. But I felt lucky to experience it. I know that sounds weird, but I felt lucky that I'm watching it happen. I'm happy that it's down there, but I also feel like it's not guaranteed. I feel like there's so many things between me and that sunrise, or you and the sunrise. The owl is saying it's a long journey. I'm going to channel my owl buddy, owl spirit. He's saying there's a lot of, he's showing me there's a lot of dark things. There's some black hurdles off the shore down the way on the beach. But it's a funny thing. They're not walls like hurdles. They're like you'd see a wood hurdle on a track field or trek, and you jump. It's like a line, and then there's a space, and there's a black line, and there's a space. It's like, it's not a big mountain. It's these waist high-ish hurdles, but they're down a little bit. So they are something we have to deal with, but they're not, they're like made of pipe or black lines like that, but they're not insurmountable. And there's big space between them. So it's almost like you hurdle over this, recalibrate, get yourself together, and you go to the next one. And I don't know if that's related to courts or other pushback by the American people. I think what I'm hearing is that it's the result of these cuts and the reality of them. And people are going to be starting to experience them, closing parks, closing offices that people need to get to for benefits or whatever, veterans affairs and different things. So those, what I see in the future. I'm going to, before I leave my owl buddy, big picture again, he's telling me, flying up in the sky. You can look at it overhead, and he's like going towards the light, the sunrise, even though he's not there yet. And he's saying we're in the earth, we're on here, so it's hard. We have to travel all this way. And he's like, I can just go there and just fly over there. We have work to do. But it's not insurmountable. So anyway, going back to Felon 47, they're showing me there is an end, and it's not the too distant future. Is this down the way, or is this... Actually, this is the nearer thing. Go figure. Okay, number 8. Others see you or environment, which I look at the world. I'm looking at the vulnerable, open heart, and needy. So they're vulnerable. They're looking at us like we're vulnerable, like we're an open, festering, all of a sudden exposed to so many things now. We are exposed because of our leader, our not so fearless leader. So, and the muskrat, muskrat king. He's not a king. He wants to be, but he's not. Just FYI. I know somebody's upset with me using that word, but he wants to be. And I'm not putting it out to the universe that I believe it. I'm making fun of it, and I'm ridiculing that idea because he thinks he is, but he's not. I feel like I'm carving out a little hole inside of that word, so it can't be used. It's empty. So they're seeing us as vulnerable, and they're seeing themselves as vulnerable, and also other non-allies, people that want to get to us. We're also vulnerable to hacking, to agencies that are they're gutting or just indiscriminately emptying. I did hear today, though, once that one of the agencies, what is it? They are letting the people in the agency decide where the cuts are going to be. Which I don't know why they didn't do that 3 weeks ago instead of just like cutting off everything at the top. What you don't know yet. Inner child fun and playing. So what you don't know yet is that there's going to be some positive things. It's hard to believe, I know. Positive things coming out of this. It could be post hurdles, or it could be as we sift through this, there's going to be waste removed, which everybody wants waste removed. That's a total, but there's also going to be an understanding. People are, the feeling I'm getting is they're going to get theirs, comeuppance kind of thing. That's the feeling I get. And it's going to bring joy to a lot of people. Hate to be action to take or avoid. Group project commission. This is about staying strong, uniting linking arms, the collective, working together. There's, gosh, I forget her name. There's a lady that I watch. She does these videos. She's out of Portland. She used to just do projects, knitting and things, and now she's a full-on politics, and she's amazing. And she was saying how, yeah, sometimes people, they get together in these protests, and what's it going to prove? And people who don't want to go, like, it's not going to change anything. But her point was that you connect with other people, and then it grows and grows and grows. Grassroots things are everything, and you have to start somewhere. And yes, it may not affect anything that day, but you make these connections, and then it grows, and you build alliances to make the movement growing. So group, commission, job. All right, probable outcome. I had to pull some more cards because I didn't quite understand this. Sexual appetite is a probable outcome. So I don't see him being able to do anything that will put him in jail or anything, or risk him being taken out of office. But I look at that as insatiable. The probable outcome is insatiability, and he can't stop himself. So I pulled a couple more cards. Birds' messages in nature, strength, and feeling strong. So I got sexual appetite, birds' messages, and strength, feeling strong. That's the probable outcome, not necessarily the most. So birds' messages. I pulled some Crow tarot deck cards just to kind of give me some more clarification. And I got the Fool. I had seen it as I shuffled, and then it popped out. This is a leap of faith. This is starting over. I do think when I'm looking at the sexual appetite, it's like an insatiability where I can't get enough. I also see the people around him, and I feel they are going to put in place a lot of the, not guardrails, limitations on how we can move forward. They're going to want to do that. And I got the Chariot, the Knight of Swords, Ace of Swords, and of course Page of Pentacles, which is about money and making things real. These are all ideas, and things are moving very fast. They're not set in stone yet. These are all ideas. So my interpretation of this is that we have free will, and at this moment, there's going to be something's going to happen where they're going to have to make a shift, and something. It's a transition into a new way. And I don't know if it's because the Congress are going to try and get the bill across and the shutdown, but because that's in about a month. But it feels like a mess to me because there's so much greed, the sexual appetite, the insatiability, so much greed, and there's going to be so much people around in the administration that are trying to push me. I need this. I need that. No, we're not going to do that. It's like a lot of birds cackling each other in a big tree, cackling at each other in a big tree. And I don't feel the timeline is going to, it's not consistent. It feels like there's a lot of moving parts that have not been set in stone, and they're fast. And some of these things are going to be so fast. I'm going to ask for one more card. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull my Archangel Michael cards because he is awesome. And he's going to give us some advice about this situation and how we can manage this view of the timeline. How do you suggest we handle this? Oops. That was out. Decide to be happy now. We can't wait until he's gone. And I did a very short video the other day is don't feel powerless. You have choice in where you put your mind, where you put your thoughts. You have choice. Nobody can tell you where to do that. Nobody. You decide where to put your thoughts and your mind, where your beliefs go. And you do not have to be drawn into anything. You're in control of your mind, your beliefs, and what you do into their day. So Archangel Michael says, decide to be happy now. Thank you for helping me open my heart to happiness, joy, and bliss. I am now willing to see all of the goodness in my life. Instead of living in, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, the world is ending, which ultimately I don't think is going to happen. I think we're going through a big shift, obviously, but it's changing day to day. Don't get sucked into it. Just decide you're going to be happy today, and dip into that news. Like I've said multiple times, dip in when you feel like you're comfortable, and then jump back out. Ground news is great. Read articles that you want, and then get up to date and move on, and do things that you enjoy every day. All right. That went much longer. It always does. Sorry, guys. Thank you for coming by. If you like, subscribe and all that. Take care.